If you've ever tried to save more money, chances are you failed. A lot. But the truth is, it's not your fault. You just didn't have the right strategies and tools. So here are 8.5 proven ways to effortlessly save faster, according to science. The first strategy is the pineapple pizza rule. The reason many people have trouble saving money is because personal finance can get really confusing. Like when I first took it seriously, I had no idea what any of this meant. So I came up with the pineapple pizza rule. It's the principle that reframes money to make it way more approachable. So whenever I bought something that wasn't pineapple pizza, I would just think to myself, how many pineapple pizzas would this cost? How many pineapple pizzas could I buy with this amount of money? For instance, if this candlestick costs $70 and I know a small pineapple pizza costs $7, then this candlestick costs 10 pineapple pizza dollars. Meaning I could either buy this candlestick or I can get 10 pineapple pizzas. This simple reframing through the lens of something that I love helps me determine whether buying that thing is worth giving up something I know that I will love. And obviously you don't need to use pineapple pizza dollars, you can use anything that you love, whether that's hot dog dollars or coffee dollars or Mr. Magic Lamp dollars.
I ain't gonna lie, that's actually not a bad idea to actually measure in something like that. You can measure in anything. Like maybe you like, even if you like smoking, you can be like, okay, is this worth smoking 3 times this week, or should I go ahead and get this? So it's just like makes you measure your money. Like, I think that's an accurate way, especially for a beginner.
Number 2, the absolute price rule. So when I didn't have much money, I would always just default to buying the cheapest things because I thought that I was saving money. I thought, why would I spend $60 on jeans when I could get one for $1.25 from Dollar Tree? But the problem I encountered was everything was just falling apart in a few months. You see, focusing on just the absolute price or the outright cost to buy something didn't account for the additional cost and time needed to replace or repair those things. So what I do now is I buy things based on cost per use. For instance, I was obsessed for a period of time with high quality coffee. Every day I would buy myself a iced coffee at a cafe because I could never make it taste as good at home. So I thought to myself, I could probably save a lot more money if I could make cafe quality coffee at home. So let's say in New York City, a nice coffee outside costs $7, right? And I bought it every day from Monday to Friday, which meant I spent about $1,820 on iced coffee. Now I could keep doing that, or I could buy a used $500 Breville espresso machine for home. Now I know $500 for a coffee machine is a lot of money, but if I divide 500 by 365, the number of days that I'd be drinking coffee and the cost per use for that is just $1.36. And if I use the Breville machine every single day for another year, so 2 years, the cost per use is now 68 cents. And I'm okay spending 68 cents every time I make coffee compared to the $7 outside.
That makes a lot of sense too. I actually agree 110% with that. This seems like a different type of video from the video I just watched. He's making it, I can't really put it how I want to say it, but he has better concepts. And I would agree 100% what he's saying. So like, especially like with something as simple as coffee or going out to eat, let's say something simple, you like eating chicken. You go to American Deli all the time, you get this little lemon pepper stepper, you get the menu, you get the little items that you like. Instead of doing that, why not just get an air fryer or a deep fryer at the crib, and every time you want to do that, then you can just fry some wings yourself, and now you can just save money, you can be at home, save money, time on gas, put money on gas, save time, even just going there and doing that, waiting. I would prefer you to do that.
Next, the most impactful thing that helped me save a lot of money was doing this thing called a savings challenge. The harsh reality is saving money can feel like an uphill battle because our brains are wired to resist change. And in the book, The Power of Habit, it says the best way to save more is by breaking our existing spending habit loop. And I easily saved so much more money after joining a savings challenge where I was held accountable and had an actual savings roadmap to follow. Which is why I'm hosting the largest free 5-day savings challenge on October 1st. It's called the $1,000 Savings Challenge and it's completely free to join with the link below. We had a ton of people in our last one and we're expecting thousands in this one, where we can all basically just learn to save together and hold each other accountable. So whether you're saving for a dream vacation, a down payment on a house, or you just want to build an emergency fund, join the free $1,000 Savings Challenge on October 1st with the link below. But space is limited, so if you click on the link and it says that it's no longer available, then unfortunately we already reached the capacity. Number 4 is the 036 rule, which is something I recommend everyone do do before they start investing or even paying off debt. I've been following this rule since I first started my 9-to-5 job, and you might be familiar with the regular emergency fund rule that says you have to save 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Now, that's a really good starting point, but we can actually improve this approach to better fit each of our lives because we're all in unique situations. Not everyone needs to save as little as 3 months or as much as 6 months of living expenses. So here's how you can use the 0-3-6 rule to determine how much you should actually save. So as a baseline, everyone needs to save 3 months of living expenses to start with, no matter what. Then here's where it gets a bit more customized. If you have kids or any dependents, you add anywhere from 0 to 3 more months to your emergency fund number. Next, check out your job and your industry. Do you work in an industry where you can quit today and find a new job tomorrow? Or is your industry more cyclical and companies aren't really hiring right now? Based on this, add anywhere from 0 to 3 more months. Next, do you have more than one stream of income? And depending on how easy it would be for you to generate cash in the future, you would again add anywhere from 0 to 3 more months. For instance, in my situation, I'd start off with the 3-month baseline. I have no kids or dependents, so I'll add 0 months to that. I am self-employed, meaning that my income varies from month to month, but I do work in a pretty high demanding industry, which is social media and content creation, and all the skills that I've developed are very transferable, so I'll just add 2 months to that. Next, I do have multiple income streams, so I'll add 0 months for that. So in my scenario, I would save 5 months of living expenses in my emergency fund, which is actually more than I had a few years ago when I worked on Wall Street. Back then, I still started at the 3 months baseline. I had no kids. I was working a stable 9-to-5 job, and I had multiple income streams, so I just kept it at 3 months and didn't add anything else. The more income sources you have, the more demand your industry has, the less money you need in your emergency fund.
I agree 100% with that too. I just want to throw that in there. I'm listening to him because he has some good concepts. 100% right though.
This next rule is from the book The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley. Like, I don't want to overstate this, but this rule might have been one of the biggest motivators for me to save and build wealth because it identified where I was categorized on this triangle: UAW, AAW, or PAW. And I'll explain what these categories mean later on, but basically this triangle tells you how you're doing based on your net worth, based on your current age and income. And when I realized I was AAW, it really motivated me to push harder. So here's how the wealth triangle rule works. First, you take your age and you multiply it by your pre-tax income, and then you divide that total by 10. So let's say you're 35 years old and you're making $150,000 a year. You want to multiply those numbers together and you get 5.25 million, and then you divide that by 10 and you get 525,000. Meaning your net worth right now should be around $525,000. From here, compare it to what your actual net worth is to see where you belong on this wealth triangle. If your actual net worth is half the expected level or less, so like 260K in this case, you're considered an under-accumulator of wealth, UAW. If your net worth is around the expected level, so like $520,000, you're an average accumulator of wealth, AAW. But if your net worth is twice the expected level or more at like 1.2 million, then you're a prodigious accumulator of wealth. The point of the wealth triangle rule isn't to make you feel bad if you're at the bottom or at the middle of it. Rather, it's to give you a target, some target to strive towards, and depending on where you are, either help you become really excited about your situation or motivate you to make some changes. But one caveat to this rule is that it doesn't work that great for people under 21 who really haven't had a chance to start working and saving money yet. So if you are under 21, just use it as a motivator for what you should aim for in the coming years. Number 6, the 401k rule. And I don't say this very often, but one thing I absolutely believe everyone should do is if you have access to a 401k is check if your company offers this thing called an employer's match. Because if they do, you always want to contribute enough money to take advantage of the full match, because your company is effectively giving you free money as an incentive to save for retirement. I've only had an employer's match when I worked in finance for a few years, and you won't believe this, but the number of people, even in the finance industry, who you think are supposed to be really financially savvy people, a lot of people were not taking advantage of it, and it was just wild because they were literally saying no to free money. In 2023, the average employer match was between 4 to 6% of your income.
But do they give you that? So let's say if you quit, of course if you get fired, you're not getting it. But if let's say you quit Do you still get it? That's the only thing I never liked about 401ks and matching the benefits and all of that. If I quit, do I still get it, or do I have to retire? Because if I have to retire, I feel like it's a setup.
Annual salary. So if you earn 65K a year and you have a 6% match and you contribute $3,900 to your 401k, then your employer will give you another $3,900, no strings attached, bringing your total contribution to $7,800. Plus, a study determined that the value on annualized return of the tax advantage and savings you get from the 401k is about 0.73%. Meaning tucking your money away in your 401k increases your returns by about 0.73% every year. And I know it doesn't seem like a big number, but if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in your 401k spread out across several decades, along with the tax savings from reducing your taxable income, this is gonna amount to a pretty penny.
I ain't gonna lie, not gonna lie to you, brother. You could have just invested that into the stocks and the crypto market, invested it in yourself, and made more money by the time. So 401ks to me are kind of stupid because I have to wait for decades, and some people don't have decades. Some people need access to that money when they need it, and I feel like investing that into stocks and crypto is an option.
Next is the 24-10 rule, which is the antidote for America's #1 wealth killer. In 2022, AAA found that the average cost to own a car was $894 a month, which is the highest it's ever been. So whether you have a car, you're thinking of buying a car, or you know someone else who is, you need to remember the 24-10 rule to determine how much car you can actually afford without destroying your wealth. First, the 20 is your down payment. You should at least be able to put down 20% of the price of the car from the very beginning. Some lenders will allow you to put even less down, but to that, you gotta say, no sir. Because the lenders are just gonna charge you a higher monthly payment to make up for the lower down payment. But this is a pretty bad idea in the long run because it's gonna be a lot more money. Generally, the more you can put down from the start, the better. Next, 4 is the 4-year limit. Don't agree to financing terms longer than 4 years, because the longer you let the loan run on, the more you'll end up paying in interest. And oftentimes, shady lenders may include a clause or condition where it says interest rates can actually increase after the 5th year. Next, aim to spend 10% or less of your gross monthly income on car expenses, things like loan payments, insurance, and maintenance. And if you can't follow the 24-10 rule, there's a good chance that that Lambo might not be for you. Next, Warren Buffett once said, "Price is what you pay, value is what you get." And although he was referring to investing in stocks, we can apply this to buying stuff in general. Basically, an item's value is what you get from it, how it makes you feel, what problems does it help you solve, and the transformations you experience. An item's price is just what you pay to get those things, and an item's true value is the difference between what you can get from it and the cost to acquire it.
This also boils down to just understanding why you're getting certain items. So if you're just spending money frivolously and you're just getting shit for no reason, then it wouldn't make sense to get these items. But if you're actually getting things that are gonna influence or enhance the way you're getting money, or influence more people to spend money with you, or make it easier for you to get money, different things along the level of offering you some return, offering you some value, then it makes a reason to spend.
The trick to saving money is to stop focusing on the price of things. If you constantly focus on the price, you build an unhealthy relationship with money and spending. So yes, in a way, I'm giving you permission to spend money, but under one condition. The reality is, if you only focus on the price of something and saving money, you're gonna deprive yourself of life. You'll be hesitant to go to birthday parties, to go on vacation, or even treat yourself to iced coffee once in a while. You'll attempt to save all your money until you're 75, and if you're still alive by then, maybe you can spend some of it? But the problem is, deprivation will just make you burn out and give up. The better way to approach saving money is to aggressively spend on things that bring you true value and joy, but only if you aggressively cut costs on things.
I wouldn't say aggressively spend money. I would say, spend money leisurely. Like, you have your account set up and you have a bills account, you have an investment account, you have a regular like personal account. And then you can split it up and say, okay, like, I'm putting this money to bills, I'm putting this money to investments. I have let's say you got an emergency fund, you got savings too, and this is my like how much I can spend this month or how much I can spend today or this week. Then spend from that instead of just kind of just balling and eyeballing what you buy, what you can spend. But I want to thank all of you for coming to chat, tune in. I appreciate you guys. If you need more help, don't forget to sign up for my membership at Consulted. I can't even say buy Consulted. The WAP link is gonna, but the way it's going to say WAP.com/consult. but I will be looking forward to helping you guys any way that I can.